Hello, my name's Chef Lori, and today we're going to make classic Hollandaise sauce, which is a warm butter sauce made with egg yolks and butter. First, we're going to start with a vinegar reduction. We take peppercorns. We love the flavoring of pepper in our Hollandaise sauce, but not the little flecks of pepper, so we're going to put it in a reduction. I'm crushing them with my pan and adding about 6 peppercorns and 3 tablespoons of vinegar. We're going to put this on the stove and reduce it to au sec, which means almost dry in French, and that will be some of our flavoring of pepper in our Hollandaise sauce. Hollandaise, going to have 3 egg yolks. So these are separated, 3 eggs at a room temperature, and 2 cups of clarified margarine. We're going to bring this on over to the stove now and cook it to what is called sabayon. Vinegar and crushed peppercorns are on the stove top now, and they are reducing to au sec, which is almost dry. The 3 tablespoons of vinegar will reduce to about a teaspoon. And that will be our flavoring, part of our flavoring for the Hollandaise. Okay, vinegar reduction has reduced to about a teaspoon. And at that point, we're going to deglaze, which means picking up all the little flavorful bits of the peppercorns from the bottom of the pan with a tablespoon of water. I'm going to strain it through a chinois into the egg yolks. And now we're ready to cook to sabayon. With the heat, medium, very warm but not boiling. To start quickly whisking our egg yolks until they are shiny, little paler in color, and thicken up. This is your most crucial part of the Hollandaise stage to make sure that your egg yolks are cooked correctly. This could take a little while, so I think the whisking technique is extremely important. And I am using my wrist, rather than my whole arm, which can easily tire. So they are getting thickened and shiny and a little paler in color. And this will form the base for the sauce. You do need to whisk briskly. It's not just a matter of mixing, it's a matter of making sure the egg yolks keep moving and not cook too much, and you end up with scrambled. However, enough to it's that sabayon stage, which is going to be a nice little drizzle. Almost there, it's a little drippy. And the water underneath is very warm, but not boiling. Sometimes this could take 5 minutes or so of whisking. It's almost there. It's getting paler. Your bowl may get really warm on the outside, so be sure to use a towel to hold it. And look every once in a while and make sure you're not boiling water. So thick, glossy, and pale in color. Whisking with your wrist, saving your whole arm by going all the way around. That gets very tiresome because we're just only beginning to whisk. Okay, right now it's beautiful. There we are. It ribbons down really nice in a steady stream. So we've got sauvé on. Okay, beautiful. So now we'll take it off of the heat and start adding the 2 cups of clarified fat. So we've taken the Hollandaise off the heat now, but I'm going to keep it warm because it is a warm sauce. And I'm bringing the pan off the heat, and I'm putting a little towel under here for a barrier. The 2 cups of warm clarified butter. We're going to slowly whisk this in. This is an emulsion, which is mixing together 2 unmixable liquids, and it likes to be drizzled in very slowly and whisked very briskly. And we'll start to thicken it up. So the 2 cups of fat to the 3 egg yolks. The one thing to worry about sometimes with Hollandaise that makes it seem a little more difficult is the fact that it breaks very easily. And that's usually from adding the fat too fast, if it gets a little too warm or a little too cold. Or sometimes too much fat would also do it. Okay, again, the wrist action, whisk briskly. Oops, jumping better. It thickens up. So what we use Hollandaise for, it's a lovely sauce on vegetables, classically maybe on asparagus, awesome on Eggs Benedict, nice warm sauce, also accompaniment for meats. Can be flavored up many ways, often a béarnaise sauce which has tarragon and shallots in it, which is often, which is a sauce derived from the Hollandaise.
Is Hollandaise a mother sauce?
Hollandaise is a mother sauce, and béarnaise sauce is a small sauce from that. And the way you would do that, though, at the beginning would be at the Auxac vinegar reduction, you'd put some tarragon and shallots in there and get that flavoring throughout, and then add some more fresh tarragon and parsley.
And what are the names of some of the other small sauces that you can get from Hollandaise?
There is Maltaise, which is with some blood oranges. I'm going to add a little lemon juice right here to thin it out and for flavor. And again, there's the Foyot, which has a meat glaze added to it. There's Chiron sauce, which has a tomato paste added to the finished. It's a lovely orange color. There's the mousseline, which has whipped heavy cream folded into it. So you have a lot of different flavorings that can go with that. And as the sauce is getting a little thick, I'm adding the lemon juice, about 2 tablespoons for in here. You can add it at different points because the fat thickens and the liquid thins. So it's going to need something to thin it a little bit. And if you've used all your lemon juice of the 2 tablespoons, you can always add some warm water to continue to thin it. So again, I'm still adding it slowly, even to the end, because it could break if you add it too quickly. So now I've got the 2 cups of fat. It's glossy. It's very beautiful. We're going to adjust it just slightly with the remainder of the lemon juice. And your thicknesses, desired thickness would vary on what your use would be, but this is very nice right here. So it would cling to your product, whatever your item's going to be, and stay on the top and maybe drizzle down a little bit, but not just globby and not so thin that it would run off. We're going to season with some salt and white pepper. So the white pepper, because you wouldn't want the black pepper in there for the little flecks that it adds. The white is very nice in the sauce. And we did add the black pepper at the beginning for the black pepper flavoring. So Hollandaise, beautiful, ribbons down. This is very tasty for breakfast, lunches, dinners, meats, vegetables, eggs, a lot of things you can do with Hollandaise.
And if there was a break, you have to throw it away? Or
If there is a break, it can easily be fixed. So what is breaking? The sauce would get very thin and separated and liquefied. To repair it, you would start over with a bowl and some nice warm water, a clean bowl, whisking your water and drizzling in your broken Hollandaise. It's totally repairable by just adding a tablespoon of warm water in a clean bowl and whisking it back, and it should come right back together. From a couple that all the history, and I've read different things trying to always figure it out, the history is that it was an older couple, Mr. and Mrs. Benedict, that would come to a nice hotel every day for lunch in Manhattan. And this particular day he came back and asked for some egg dish. He wasn't really sure what. He wanted something different. Apparently eggs are very good for hangovers, and he had a hangover that day and asked if he could make an egg dish, but he wanted something different. So he made him this maitre d' made him a Hollandaise with, you know, the eggs Benedict, which ended up being, I guess, toasted English muffin, slice of Canadian bacon, poached egg, Hollandaise on sauce on top. And he ended up really, really loving it. And obviously it caught on and has become very famous. So I like to tell my students that who knows how something simple, and now that's a household word, and he just came into a restaurant in Manhattan and that was what happened. So he ended up having a sauce or a whole dish named after him. So the Hollandaise sauce absolutely makes it. And that maitre d' that created it, you know, you never know what you might come up with. So it's interesting because most sauces are named after people, or dishes are named after people. So it's very interesting to have them understand about that and to say it could be you. So Hollandaise is actually from Holland. So in this one, the French don't get the credit as much, but they have other things they've done with it. I think the béarnaise is definitely French. So that's my little history. I like to try to find out different things, and I always ask students, is that true, the eggs for hangovers? Because I always figured they'll know. They always laugh at me like, how would you think we'd know? So that's good. So we always have fun with that. But that's what I found out later on, and I kept seeing mini story after story about that. It's kind of funny. So that is Hollandaise, which I love doing Hollandaise. I don't know why it's so fun.